Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you some of the things about Survival Game Kit's damage system and how to add damage to your own custom blueprints. So for example, this could be like an AI, or if you've got some other custom blueprint that you want to be able to damage with the Survival Game Kit weapons. So I've just created two quick examples. This is just a character blueprint, this is just a cube. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure, obviously you'd be using the blueprint that you want to add damage to, but the first thing you're going to do is make sure that our collision is set up. So I'm going to open up my my example character here, and I'm going to go to the viewport. And so for characters, it's important that the capsule component, we want to make sure that its collision is set to ignore the weapon channel. Which we can see this already is. If yours isn't, we can just hit custom here and you can manually tick it like that. And then the second part for character blueprints is the character mesh. Now we need this to block the weapon channel, so I'm going to scroll down and we can see that by default it is actually set to block, but if for some reason yours isn't, we can hit custom again and we can just tick weapon to be blocked there. Next, I'm going to go back to my showcase and select our cube. Now this is sort of an example if you just have a static mesh. We just want to select your static mesh, or if you have more than one, you would want to do this for all of them. But we'd want to make sure that in the collision it's set to block the weapon channel. And again, if it's not by default, you can just change this to custom and select weapon. Just as a quick side note, for your static meshes, you need to make sure that the mesh actually has collision on it. So to do that, you can go to the static mesh editor like this. I'm just going to tab this in here. And we can see our static mesh and see if it has collision. You can click collision and hit simple collision. You can see now I've got this green outline. So I know that this has collision. Now, if yours doesn't, you can go up to the collision option up here and you can add in some different collision types. You can sort of test which one's best for your object, but this is how you would add collision to your static mesh. Next, we're actually going to go back to our showcase, and we're going to start by adding the code needed to our character. So I'm just going to open up that blueprint, and the first thing we're going to need to do is go to class settings, implemented interfaces, and search for survival inventory interface and hit compile. And then we're going to search for event damage, and we want to use this one. So this is the Survival Game Kit damage node, and that will return what hitbox on our character we hit, the damage owner, which is the character that shot at us, for example, and then this would be the actual weapon that did the damage. So for this video, I'm just going to set up a very quick health system. You can hook this into your own health system if you already have one, but I'm just going to quickly make one now. So I'm just going to name this health, set it to an integer. We'll compile quickly. I'll set the default value to 100. I'll take the health minus the damage. We want to see if that's greater than 0. And from that, we want to do set health to 0 if false, and we'll destroy the actor as well. Destroy actor. And then over here, we want to do if true, we'll copy this and we'll connect this up to here. And we can add a print string as well, because that will help us see our damage being done, like that. So now that's set up, we've just got a basic health system here, and once health is 0, it will destroy our actor. So we can just hit compile quickly and jump into the game. And I've got a weapon here I can quickly pick up. And now I can reload first. And now I can shoot my AI, and you can see we're actually doing damage. I've got my line tracers on for some reason, but you can see we've done our damage there, and our actor's been destroyed as well. So we'll do the same for our cube over here. The only difference being is that the cube doesn't have like a capsule component or anything. It's just a static mesh. But we'll jump into our character first, and we can actually just copy this code here. Go to our cube, and before we paste it in, we can go class settings, add, we'll add survival interface, and we'll compile. We'll paste this in here. If you're following along, you might not have the health variable, so I'll quickly, so these will be grayed out. You can just right click and there'll be an option called create health. You can do that, and then you want to set the default value to 100. That's for if you're following along. But yeah, basically now, so when we attack our cube, the same sort of thing will happen. So I'll pick up my weapon. And I'll shoot our cube, and you can see in the top left hand corner we're taking damage on the cube, and now it's destroyed. And you can actually see the hitboxes working as well. So if I hit the head, he's losing 40 HP, but if I hit the leg, he only loses 10. And if I shoot his arm, he lost 10 again, and now he's dead. So that's the basic setup of how to add damage to custom blueprints with Survival Game Kit. For the next part, I'm just going to quickly show you how you can damage the player character from a custom blueprint. So I'm just going to use this cube blueprint because we have it. So I'm just going to very quickly set up a tick with a trace that will hit our character and do damage. This is just for an example. I wouldn't expect you to do this in your project. But it can be useful to show you how to set up calling the damage. We'll do this. We want to do get actor rotation, and so for anyone that's interested, I'm just making a trace that will shoot out of our box here, and then it will hit our character with. So we want to add the actor location to this, and I'm going to turn on the debug to present just so we can see it. So the stuff that's useful now is our hit out. This gives us the hit actor and our hit bone name, which we need to damage our character. So we're going to start by dragging out from bone name, and we'll do player is player hitbox. And what this does is convert the bone name into a hitbox type, which is used to have different damage for the head or the arms or the legs or whatever. And then we're going to drag out from hit actor and do damage like that. And we want to call the damage message. And you can see this actually has the same inputs as the outputs over here. And what this will do is this will call the damage on our player character. So we'll connect our hitbox up to hitbox, and we'll set our damage to say 1. And we'll set the damage owner to be empty, because this doesn't really have a character that owns it. But damage cause will do self, like that. So, and just like that with these two nodes here, we're getting our hitbox, and we're calling the damage on our whatever character sort of gets in the way. So if I hit compile, and I'll hit play, so you can see we've got a line trace there, and if I walk into it, my health starts to drop down. And I can actually, if I do eject, I might be able to move this. You can see if I move it and hit the AI, you can see his health is dropping as well. And that's because that character is also using the Survival Game Kit damage that we set up earlier. So this box can now damage our player. So you can see we've just killed our player with the line trace, or it can damage the AI or even build parts. So just with that small amount of code, you can damage any Survival Game Kit actor. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions or problems, feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to join our Discord and subscribe. So thank you for watching.